So when coaching or service offers get a refund request, they usually think it's a problem with delivery, but in this video, I'm going to tell you why in most cases, it actually is either partially or maybe majority of a problem from the sales process. So you had a refund, you had a dispute, and or client disappeared, and it keeps happening. It's not random. So let's talk about why. The first thing you do, like I said, you look at delivery. You look at what did we do wrong? What could we have done better? And yes, there are absolutely some merits to this. Especially as you start to build out multiple products, multiple price points, etc. Every client journey along any one of your given products or services deserves a hard look at delivery, making sure you can systematically underpromise and overdeliver, for sure. But the refund specifically did not start there. The refund started on the sales call. So what does this mean? How does this happen? What we are taught in the online business, high ticket, coaching, consulting, service-based space is to optimize for a very specific type of sales call, to optimize for a very specific type of conversion on the sales call. And this is especially frequent in B2C offers, but especially I've seen this a lot in when B2C closers move into B2B offers because they want to make more money, have higher echelon clients, and they use these same kind of very B2C focused strategies. And you get what I mean in here in a second. So the first one that we're usually taught to optimize for is this artificial sense of urgency, this kind of false scarcity. Something like this price is only available today. There's only one spot left. And what that's designed to do, of course, is to create a yes, to force the yes out of somebody. To say, oh, well, I have to do it today. The problem with this, though, is that you get somebody coming in not because they've decided it's the right thing for them. You get somebody coming in because they're coming from a place of fear. They're coming from a place of scarcity. They're not coming from an abundance mindset and saying, yes, this is what I want. I'm claiming it. Let's do it. Let's go. Being a little woo-woo today, but you get the point. They're not coming in on their own word cognizance is what it really boils down to, what this video boils down to. The next one that we are taught to optimize for is this amplification of their pain. We're taught to get all of these discovery questions out of the way and phrase the first 15 to 20 minutes of the call in this sense of, well, where did you start? Where did you want to go? How long have you been stuck there? Like these typical discovery questions that are really just us trying to figure out as closers or as the business trying to figure out, well, how much pain can I show them that can I either call out to them that they have or show them that they have that they didn't even know that they had to make our solution, whether it's the best 100% objectively correct solution or not, to make our solution look or phrase it in a way that will meet most of their pain or most of where they're at. The third thing we do is NLP anchoring or pattern interrupts. And this is one of my, not favorite to use, but favorite to poke fun at, which are simply psychological techniques designed to bypass rational decision making. Oftentimes, you see it on all of these Instagram closers, closing videos, they record themselves closing somebody or handling an objection. And it's some sort of I'll just call a spade here, low quality NLP technique. That's somebody trying to make somebody feel a certain way or be in a certain energy that they're not authentically in or that they don't feel authentically aligned with, and get them to a point where it can make sense in their own special little way to say yes in the moment. But then the minute that call ends, you're at such risk for buyer's remorse and scarcity mindset and people being like, oh my God, what did I just do? And clients asking for a refund and chargebacks and ghosting, etc. Next thing we're taught to do is escalate issues emotionally. We're taught to deepen the pain, twist the knife. And what this does, again, going back to the NLP thing, but also back to the first point of taking this entire thing and kind of creating your own little fantasy, as I like to say. The need for this, I think, is purely irrational. Like the need for a closer, the need for a business to go out and be this type of person to somebody on the other end of the call. I don't care if it's a B2B, B2C, somebody with $1 to their name or $10 million to their name. The feeling of the need to go out and do this, it's really based around ego, I feel, and it's really based around this idea that, again, you need to extrapolate the pain so that way you know exactly how to phrase what you're doing. Well, the problem is if you phrase what you're doing only in the context of the pain that they feel, you're not going to know whether this person will become a client who can have the highest LTV within your program because you painted it in a picture that only they would say yes to. Nobody else would say yes in the way that you painted it, but getting off track. But you design it for the fear of missing out. You design it for their specific insecurities, not because the program is a genuine good fit for them. And then the last thing we're taught to do is social proof that is stacked with the fear of missing out, which is designed to create fear of being left behind and not a genuine confidence in the program. How many testimonials have we all seen from online biz op, coaching, service-based businesses where all the social proof, all the testimonials, all of the landing pages are all focused on get it today. If you don't, this is going to happen and it's going to suck way more than you think it will. So you have to do it right now. Like, it's all contextualized by getting the yes. And this is the point that I want to make in this video, is that every one of those clients or every one of those closes creates a client from an emotionally activated state, not from genuine alignment. And that word activation is really important because they get activated, but then they deactivate. But then they don't remain the type of client who stays activated and stays giving you I talk about this a lot from a client experience perspective, their discretionary effort to continue investing their time and energy and momentum into getting results, because you need them to be invested in the program. You need them to be invested in your offer. If they're not, unless it's a truly 100% done for you offer, which by the way, I don't believe there is a truly 100% done for you. You always need the clients to do something. Unless it's a truly 100% done for you offer, you need them invested. And this creates clients that will only be invested for that moment that they say yes. Everything else after that, you are treading rocky water. And so this emotional arc that a client typically will go through with this is that in the sales call, the belief is artificially high. At the payment, the dopamine will peak as you specifically design it to make sure that the card actually goes through. But then in the hours and the days later, the emotion fades and the doubt moves in. And so what replaces this momentum and this belief is, did I make the right call? I feel like I was pushed into this. I don't know if this is the right thing for me. Like, I don't even know how or why I said yes. Like, the amount of people that refund based on just not anything logical, but just emotional refund alone, staggering. And none of this, the thing that a lot of offers don't seem to get is that none of this can be recovered through good delivery alone. This can't be recovered through under-promising and over-delivering, because you created a false sense of security, a false sense of hope within somebody. And then the reality of the situation is much different than that. There's this concept called building emotional equity with somebody. And it's essentially, if you think of the equity of a company in stock market or something, the equity will never be higher than the moment right after payment. The ability to impact equity will never be higher than the moment right after payment. But what people will end up doing is using this time after the payment to ring the bell, celebrate the win, celebrate the close, celebrate the money in the door, treat this time as this administrative time. It's like, oh, hey, all your docs signed, your first call is 6.5 days from now. And oh yeah, until then, watch these 47 modules to tell you how to do X, Y, Z, and da-da-da. They treat it as just this like administrative overarching problem of treating client success as just this cost, this necessary cost of doing business, not a way to create 3 to 4 to 5 times more profit from every single client that you close. But again, getting off track. This problem is not fixable through delivery alone. You created a hope in somebody that will not be met, will never be met through the offer. And at the end of the day, these are your most expensive clients. These are the clients that will never refer, never upsell into anything else, never continue, never give you a testimonial that will help you close any other clients, at least any other clients that are worth any more. They'll help you close more clients that are just like them, but then you're repeating the exact same problem over again. So again, you've got two clients. You've got the activated client, you've got the aligned client. By the way, I literally just thought of this before I made this video, and I'm like, oh, this is such good. It's going in the IP. The activated client and the aligned client, they're in the same program. They buy it for the same price, but they have a completely different experience. The activated client was closed under pressure. They said yes, not necessarily, I know this is before they thought it through, not necessarily before they thought it through, but they said yes with context that was only built specifically around their situation. And you're like, well, wait, of course I need to pitch it around their situation. I need to make sure that it's customized to them. Is the program customized to them? Will they come in and depending on what they said on the sales call, they will get a different experience? If your answer is no, then that is a very, very easy line over into, or it's a very easy line to get over into the delusion of thinking, oh, well, no matter what customization needs to happen, the program is always going to be a good fit because we can always make sure that it will cover a wide range of people. Not the way it works. At least not to get clients in that have a high enough LTV to scale your business from. So they're closed under pressure. The doubt sets in days, if not hours, after they purchase. They're disengaged within a couple of weeks in. All of this stuff that's coming up, all of these insecurities, all of these issues, all of these questions that they feel like they should have asked comes up, and they don't know what to do with it because let's call a spade a spade. They made the decision to come in, but did they really? And at the end, there's a refund, there's a chargeback, or there's just quiet. They fade off into the night. And you're sitting here looking at this, probably thinking, well, obviously refund, chargeback, we don't want that. But if they just quietly go away, how is that actually bad? If you're sitting there thinking that, I'll tell you, it's bad because that client that you spent so much money, so much time, so much effort to acquire, as most people do when they only have a front-end offer and don't have any way to make clients more profitable on the back end through upsells and through referrals, the time, the attention, the money that you spent to acquire that customer, A, you will never get back. B, will never give you anything more because they're gone. They already have a really solid reputation of you. Anybody who asks, you never know what can happen. Anybody who asks, so they might decide to go online one day, they can trash your testimonial with receipts. They can trash your reputation with receipts, I'm sure. And at the end of the day, if you have a program or an offer full of clients like this that have the same kind of culture, we don't talk about client culture enough, that have the same culture, all of that, you will never be able to outrun the margin that this is eating into in your business by adding more volume. You will simply compound the problem and make it 10 times worse. So a client leaving, a client going quiet is actually one of the biggest secret, hidden, underwhelming, we'll say, costs of doing business. Because yes, it is a cost. Everybody has it. Everybody has it happen. But not enough people look at this as the risk and the issue and the cost and the foundational problem in the delivery that it really is. So the aligned client, let's say they took a couple weeks to decide. They asked hard questions. They thought it through. But they said yes from clarity. They said yes from knowing. And maybe, you know what? Maybe this is somebody who closed on the call. But they were presented the offer and the decision in a way that forced the decision, not in a way that forced the yes. You challenge them. You push them. You make sure that they know what they're going to be missing out on if they don't make this decision to come in today. 100%, absolutely. But you didn't present it in a way that would make them question themselves if their value, their worth, if they were to say no to this. You didn't present it in a way that connected, that emotionally leveraged something else that, let's be honest, usually has nothing to do with this in their life, with this decision. You didn't imply, or sometimes outright state, which pisses me off even more, that the results were going to be guaranteed when, let's be honest, they're not. You let them decide from a place of empowerment. You let them decide from a push, you let them decide from a pull, not from a push. What happens when you do that is that they show up in those first moments, those first weeks, ready to work. They give you their discretionary effort. They know what they signed up for, how they signed up for, why they signed up for it. There's no doubt, there's no resentment, there's just commitment. And they implement between every session. They give you their discretionary effort. They ask questions. They show up. They put in the work because you need them to put in the work. The only way you get to grow your business is if your clients are happy. The only way you get your clients to be happy is if they get results. The only way they get results is if they put in the work, because everybody has to put in the work. The only way they put in the work is if they don't resent you. Now, in addition to showing up consistently, the aligned client is going to give you so much more LTV throughout their entire client journey, their entire relationship with you. They're going to send you a referral. They're going to buy your next thing. They're going to leave a testimonial that actually helps you close more clients, not just looks pretty on the website. And your team, your systems, AI, can run the whole thing. And so when you look at it, one of the points I want to make to you in this video is that you can and should seek to get something from your clients besides just what they pay you. Increase LTV, increase reputation, You should treat and look at your clients as the gateway to get to where you want to go. And I know that that sounds super simple and super like overstated. It's like, okay, well, duh. But the amount of offers in the space, in the online business space right now, not practicing and building their foundation from that, terrifying. So the slow close, I don't even know if it's a slow close. I actually don't even agree with that. The close that is based around the forced decision, not the forced yes. That is how you get clients in with LTV, with higher LTV. So stop forcing the yes, start forcing the decision. Forcing the yes, it removes the objections at all costs, regardless of what the true scenario, the truth is of the program. And I'm not telling you to not answer objections in any certain way because, you need to be ethical and you need to be factual. I'm much less concerned about being ethical and being factual and being truthful than I am about making sure that your client stays with you long-term, is worth more to you than what they paid up front, and refers you other people who will also have high LTV. That is how you get that. Forget about being ethical for a second. Forcing the yes creates urgency to close now when sometimes it's not even mandated. And it makes it impossible to say no. It backs them into a corner. I love that the art of objection handling is essentially removing arrows from somebody's quiver or backing them into a corner so they have nowhere else to go but say yes and take your path forward, which is just the most beautiful way to close a sale. Not. Forcing the decision surfaces the objection so they're resolved before payment. Gives them time to decide with full information, if they even need time to decide. Some people don't, and that's great. Making saying no as easy as saying yes. One produces activated clients and the other produces alive clients. So, as a general kind of rule of thumb, there's a couple things that whenever I train sales reps, train CSMs, because also this is a really important conversation for CSMs to have as well, who are responsible for upselling and for gathering referrals. First off, name the risk. Tell them what this won't work for, why this might not work for them before they pay. Second is surfacing the doubt, asking what makes them hesitate before you give proper, truthful context. 3 is removing the pressure. Tell them that you'd rather them take a day than regret a fast yes. Do you know how that would make you stand out in a marketplace where everyone has been burned by something else before? I don't care who you're closing, who you're selling to. Everyone has been burned by something else before. It's 2026. Differentiating yourself by saying, listen, I need this to be 100% for you before we go through. I'd rather you take 24 hours than not be 100% sure. Just based on that alone, they're coming in. The trust that you can build with them from that, insane. So your close rate is the vanity metric. LTV is a real number that you need to focus on. So, question for you. Out of your last 10 refund requests, how many came from clients who were closed fast under pressure? Probably all of them. Out of your last 10 best clients, how many took longer than average to decide? Do you make saying no as easy as saying yes on your sales calls? And are you closing for speed or are you closing for alignment? So the best clients you will ever have, sometimes they take the longest to say yes. In general, as an average, they take more time to decide, but they're also the ones who come in and that make it most worthwhile to put in the effort, because you're going to have to put in the effort to all of your clients regardless. Make sure that you're closing clients that are actually worth the effort that you're putting in.